What's up, everybody? It's your boy Julian Lewis,
It's your girl Daisy Alaeze.
and we want to welcome you to Talkyosport.
And I'm Anthony Holliday.
In the building, we got the one and only Anthony Holliday from Los Angeles,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
playing all the way in Portugal this season. How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm blessed. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Nice to have you on. We appreciate you coming out, being the first interview of the new Talkyosport. So we appreciate you, man. Want to thank you, and looking forward to getting into this with you.
Oh, yes.
All right, so the first thing we want to get into, man, I just want to ask you, you've been playing overseas for what, 4 years now? 3?
Yeah, 4. Yeah, this is my 4th. Yeah.
Okay, so you're in year 4 now. I want to ask you, man, out of those 4 years, who was the first one to really just go at you, the first player to really just go at you and give you some buckets over there, and just you were like, this guy is nice. I'm overseas now. Like this is a different level.
Bro, you know what's crazy about that? It was my own teammate. It was my first year in Latvia.
Okay.
And we had practice. But me and him never really guarded each other or anything like that. Cause like I was always guarding like the point guard or whatever like that. So but he was American, black dude. He was from the same town where my college is at. So he knew all the people, he knew everybody, like, like people that's just around the city or whatever. So like I remember one day it was like a one-on-one drill, and I had to guard him, and he's probably like your height, a little bit like built like me, but like a little bit bigger than me, like in between me and you, like
Okay.
And bro, like I'm guarding this dude, right? And nobody really, I can cuss on here, like not cuss, but like
Go ahead. Yeah.
he bust my ass like on this one play, and I was like he bust my ass so bad, bro. I look like I was really trying to guard this dude, and he gave me a shoulder, and like it wasn't like, and they used to tape the practices, and he gave me a shoulder. He scored on me, bro, and I'm like, that got to be an offensive foul. So we look at the tape later on, bro. I got bodied, bro, like body. I was bleeding at the mouth and stuff. He scored on me. I was like, that's what I knew, bro. I was like, yeah, bro, this is real. Like, this is different, bro. Because he was already, like, he was in year 4 around that time. So, like, me, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when I was just like, damn. And then seeing him, like, I was already seeing how he played, like, before. Like, because my visa didn't get cleared for, like, the first game. So, he was out there killing. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm going to have to guard him one day in practice. And then he did that, bro. I was like, that was like, I'm bleeding, bro. I'm on the floor. Like,
Right.
he did not just bust my ass, he busted my mouth. So I was like, bro, like I'm on the floor, bro, and I was like, all right, that's real, bro. Like that was it. Yeah.
I know you had to come back at him though after that.
Oh yeah, bro. I had to throw everything at him.
Man.
I threw everything at him. But like that was like the one, because he didn't do like no move or anything. He did one move, I cut him off. He did something else like a counter to that, and that counter, I guess he just like dipped his shoulder, but like he didn't do nothing dirty. But he dipped his shoulder, and I'm skinny, bro. And like, yeah, I was on the floor, bro. I was on the like this, and I was like, that's an offensive foul. I'm thinking like the coach is gonna be like, that good defense. He was like, nah, and I had to D up on the next guy with a bloody mouth, and I was like, bro, that's what really did it, bro. I never really like got my ass busted in the game, but like to guard someone like that, like he went at me. He was like, he showed like, oh, I'm a rookie, bro. Like I'm like, damn, that's what did it, bro.
Yeah.
It was real.
No, was he an American or was he?
He's American.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, bro. I see what you're doing, bro.
Yeah. I had a guy. I had an American go at me too. First year playing in Benidorm. Man, his name, I don't know if you know him, but Jalen Nesbitt. Shout out to you, my boy Jalen. He's playing in, I want to say Villa de Bledo right now. Out in Spain. So he played in the city like the next year from mine, my first season, and I'm telling you, this man went crazy. I'm like, yo, and we had to we played the same position. We kind of played like our games were kind of similar too.
Right.
But he I'm telling you, bro, this man went straight at me, and I'm like, it was nothing I could do. Like he had me pissed because like he was going at me in my gym, and I'm like, Yo, I'm like, I had been killing like the whole season until we ran up against him, and he just like went straight at me, bro. Like no remorse.
And it's
I'm
your
like,
first time admitting it?
that was my first time like legit getting killed. I'm not gonna lie, he killed me for real.
I don't think I've had that experience overseas.
No?
No, I was always a bully. It's different for girls. Most of the time when Americans come over, we the biggest, we're the strongest.
Right, right.
Um, I don't think so. I always was bullying somebody.
You was bullying the Europeans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby
Yeah.
Shaq down there.
Wait, what position you play?
2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah, you was down there dropping the bows.
Yeah. I had a girl who was like 5'4". I was in the post every single time.
Oh yeah, of course.
You got a baby her.
Baby Gerber. Yeah.
So let's I wanted to get into also you're back in Portugal for your second season in Portugal.
With
Last
the
season,
same coach, too.
same coach. That's dope,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Last season I was fortunate enough to play with this guy out in Daimiel in Spain, and you actually came to Daimiel. You came to Daimiel after I did. So I got there in August, like mid-August or whatever, early to
Right.
mid-August. And then you signed with us in September. So I want you to talk to me about, how you felt about, I guess, signing like during the season. Like, was that harder for you or was it easier? Did you have to adjust to anything? Like, just tell us a little bit about that experience.
I remember I came like on the 23rd. It was like the 23rd of September. And I actually like prefer coming into the season because you know all that stuff before, the conditioning and all that stuff. I just feel like a lot of that stuff, especially if you with an organization that's like kind of new or anything like that, I feel like they don't really know what to do. I like you can go run outside all you want, but that's not gonna replicate basketball reps, like getting into basketball shape. So I always feel like that's kind of like some teams don't really know what to do, especially if they don't have a trainer, like a real trainer. So like I always feel like it's easier to come like during the season because like you already know the work that you put in for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you probably you in the gym, you play pickup or whatever, and you just come right in. So I prefer that because I just prefer to just come in and play basketball, you know? And like for me, that's like easier. Like just come in and play basketball. Like I think when we got there, we was running the track a little bit, like a little bit, but not as much as like what y'all was saying. Like y'all was running it a lot. So like for me, I find that the transition easier because you just coming in to play basketball. Like you know what I'm saying? Like all the conditioning and stuff. I don't really like that stuff, bro. You already know, bro. I don't be in the weight room and stuff like that. No, I'm not lazy or anything. I just don't. For me, it's just not beneficial for me. I always like hoop or whatever I run on my own time. But like as far as like for me, I always saw the benefit just coming in just to go hoop. You know, for me. So, yeah.
That's a fact. I mean, I've been there in both situations where I've seen like, um, I've seen teams that, like you said last season, we were out on the track like every single day, just running around the track,
Right.
just going crazy. And I've seen some teams where you're getting in shape just by playing. Some coaches prefer that way, and I know a lot of players prefer that way also.
Right.
And me personally, kind of like what you said, I'm one of those players too that I prefer to get in my shape by playing.
Right.
Yeah, I'll do my running and stuff. I'll do all that extra stuff also. But if I just had to choose a certain way and like how I really want to get in shape and what's really best for my body, I prefer to just get up and down, run and play. So I appreciate those coaches that do it that way. And I was fortunate enough to sign with the team this season, where my coach he's kind of like that also.
Right.
He prefers us to get up and down on the floor and just get back in playing shape by going against each other 5-on-5.
Right.
Like that. So.
Cause like also like like you can run around the track or whatever, and it be dudes that like in college that run track and do all that long distance stuff, and they come in and hoop or whatever in a rec or whatever, and they can't even hang because like it's different. Like you're just running, but like in basketball, we taking hits, we running through screens, we shooting, we jumping, we're running through like that. That's certain things that you can't even replicate. You know, like it's fine to go run or whatever, but I just feel like most of the time, like if it doesn't have a purpose, then it's just a way to waste time. Like, oh, it's just the right thing to do. Like, yeah, you condition, but like, is it the right type of conditioning? It's like the same thing. Like the weight room, it doesn't work for anybody. Like everybody, you gotta have like a certain workouts for this person, certain workouts for this person. But like people just think like, oh, this cookie cutter stuff is gonna work for everybody. It's gonna be in shape, but like it doesn't work like that.
But what about the fact that when you do that though, that's how you get your second win. I know for me running, that's how I have my second win in games. So it's like that endurance comes into play because yeah, basketball shape and like regular cardio shape is different, but for me, that's where that second win comes in when you're tired and you gotta push through.
Right. No, I mean I agree with that. Like honestly, I agree with that. Like I'm just saying like there's also you can do stuff with a purpose. Like like running around the track, yeah, that's fine. Like you can run around the track, you can run distance, but basketball is a lot of stopping and going. It's a lot of like like intervals and stuff like that. So like that's what I'm saying. Like in our situation, for what I felt is just like they didn't have the knowledge of that, and then like I felt myself getting in better shape the more that I played.
Right.
And then then I was just like, oh, I'm in my second one because I got there and I was just like, I came off a knee surgery as well, so it was like, oh, like how am I gonna gauge this? And then it would start hurting in practice and all that. But then I just found myself feeling better after I actually hooped. Like the track stuff, I didn't really see it. Maybe just because in my mind I was just like, this ain't gonna work. And when you tell yourself certain things for so much time, you're gonna be like, oh, it's not working. So.
Now, funny story, just to piggyback off what you said, my second season out in Azuqueca, we had a guy, I kid you not, this guy, he probably played for that team for like 15 years. He was an old head, he was a vet. So he ran, like my first day when we got there, we went straight to the track. I did well on the track, especially for it being, my first day there. I just got off a 8-9 hour flight. And I finished like second or third on the track. But the guy who I'm talking about, he was like lapping everybody. Like
he's the oldest guy.
Bro, oldest guy, all of us like at least 3 times. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, why is this dude running so fast? Like, why does he have so much endurance? And then my coach started talking to me. He was like, yo, you gotta speed up. You gotta catch up to him and all this stuff. And then he started like not getting mad, but trying to like get on me about that. And I'm like, yo, look, bro, you go play the dude that can run 50 miles, or you go play the dude that can actually hoop. Like, you choose. Right. So he was trying to they were trying to glorify him lapping all of us. And I'm like, oh, yo, he's not going to be on the court. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to him. That's my man's, but who you go play? You go play the guy that can run faster than all of us, or you go play the guy that can hoop better than all of us?
Right, and a lot of things, a lot of coaches do that stuff, bro. We had to in JUCO too. Like we had this guy named Manny. Manny did everything right. Manny used to come in first and everything, But Manny, he was just like that glue guy. But he couldn't trust him in the end of the game. He couldn't trust him with the ball in his hand. And I'm like, he's doing all this. He's lapping people and all that. He when he gets to the baseline, he's like, oh my God, guys, let's go like this. And I'm like, bro, you really feel in your head that's getting you ahead? Like, that's fine. You can have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fine. Like, some coaches look at that, as an effort thing. But, like you said, someone that got this endurance, somebody that can really hoop, Because, that endurance is going to come more that you hoop. And you just going so.
Facts. Right. So you spoke on, I want to get into your injury. You spoke on, you had a knee injury. Back in Spain. That happened in Spain, right?
Yeah, last March. Not this month. 2018, March of 2018.
So we've all, Daisy, you've had an injury overseas too, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've all had our fair share of injuries overseas. So I want you to just talk to us about, how you dealt with that and how you were treated. From the team and the medical staff, how was your your recovery process, stuff like that. So.
All right, like it was kind of weird, bro. I don't know if I ever told you the story, but it was kind of weird because we had a game on I believe it was Sunday. We had a game, and it was like a I don't know, probably like a 4-hour drive, something like that, something crazy like that, and the game was late. So we had a drive there. We played, we lost. We drive back. We get home like at 2 o'clock in the morning. And usually we don't have practice the next day on like that Monday. We don't have practice in the morning. And the coach is so mad. He's like, no, we're going to have practice. I played the whole game. So I go in the next day and I'm like, hey, coach, I need a break. You know, I told him I need a break. He took it as, especially he's like, he coming off the like, you know, emotions of losing a close game and stuff that he thought we should have won. And he's like, nothing's wrong with you physically. Nothing's wrong with you. And I'm like, at this point, nothing was wrong with me, but I was just really physically tired, you know? Excuse me. So I told him like, hey, no, I'm really tired, da-da-da. And I told my agent too. My agent at the time, I was like, hey, tell him I'm tired. Like I've been playing like the whole game.
Lucho at that time?
Nah. It was before Lucho. But Lucho was actually helping with that. He was from that city. So Lucho was around. So I would talk to Lucho too, like, yo, I'm tired. Like, I'm really tired. So they tried to, like, that whole week I was practicing. The whole time I was practicing. This is, like, leading up to the injury. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling Lucho, like, I'm tired, da-da-da, this and that. And he's like, then my agent is hitting me, showing me the screenshots. Like, they saying, oh, you should play less minutes. You should take less shots. You should pass the ball more. Like anything to not give me a rest in practice, you know? Mm-hmm. Even Lucho agreed. He was like, nah, that's not going to work. It was just what the coach was saying. So leading up to it, that next weekend, you know how you play on the weekends.
Right.
So that next weekend, we playing Estudiantes, not another one. So I was just like, all right, let me prove a point. Let me take less shots. So we neck and neck with them. So I take like probably 2 shots. So then like the third quarter come around. Sorry, my bad. Replay. So the first quarter go around, I go up for a layup, and you know how you bump knees with somebody? It's just like, oh, and then you walk it off, right? Mm-hmm. So like I walked it off. That was fine. That was on my right knee. No problem. Third quarter starts, probably like 5 minutes left in the third quarter. I'm just dribbling the ball up the court. They come press me. The dude, you know how they play in Spain, bro. They don't know how to cut people off. He just went right at my leg, like trying to cut me off, like went right at my left leg. And like I just felt like something popped. So I'm like, yo, like it wasn't even like, it was not like a hard collision, but it was just like, it was enough to be like, hey, ref, call a foul. But he hit me. I felt a pop. That next step, I was like, yo, my leg gave out. But I'm still running. And I managed to pass the ball to the American. He get fouled. And, like, I take a step, and it's like, it's over. I collapsed to the floor. But, like, before that, I was telling Lucho, like, hey, I need a sub. And he's like, what's going on like that? He had to help me off the floor. So I'm on the floor, and they're thinking the same thing happened to me, like, in the first quarter. I'm like, nah, it popped. And they're like, joints pop all the time. I'm like, no, like my leg is stuck, bro. Like it's stuck in like a bent position. And I'm like, I can't straighten it. And they're like, nah, there's nothing wrong. So to make a long story short, I'm telling the lady, she's like, I'm a doctor. And then she's like, you know, if you go to, I was like, I need to go to the hospital. She's like, you know, if you go to the hospital, they're going to keep you out for 2 weeks. I'm like, so like my leg is like done, you know, right. Well, they're going to keep you out. So I can't walk. They don't give me no crutches for like 2 days until I'm like, I was demanding like an MRI the whole time. They're like, no, there's nothing wrong. You only got a sprain. So this guy is like, this trainer is treating me for a sprained knee. And my knee is like swollen, bro. I can't straighten it. I don't even have no crutches. Then to make it worse, the president, he used to be like a little funny guy. He over here making videos of me, like how I'm walking, because he's like, oh, you walking like a grandma, posting it and stuff. And I'm like, dude, like, can you know, I need an MRI. Like, I need an MRI. So I'm
Right.
telling my agent, they don't give me an MRI until like 2 days later. So I get, and you know how it is, bro. Like there's naturally like if you sick or whatever, I don't know, maybe y'all, I don't know. Like you go on Google to find out what your symptoms are. I'm like, wait, my knee is doing this, my knee is doing that. I'm like, my meniscus is torn. And they're like, why would you think that? I'm like, yo, this is how it feels. So I go get an MRI, my meniscus is torn. This whole time they're thinking like nothing's wrong with me. They're worried about me playing.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, it was like, oh, we feel so bad. Like, cause I found out my meniscus was torn on my birthday. They're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. This and that. Like, what can we do? Like, they're doing the most. We're gonna pay for the surgery. Do you want to go home and do the surgery, or you want us to do it? I'm like, y'all do it. Y'all. This my coach. He even like reflected on not giving me that break that week ago, because the whole time he's trying to bring up stats. He's trying to find something in the stat book that I did wrong that night. It was nothing I did wrong. He was like, oh well, you could have had more assists. I had 0 assists. I ain't gonna lie, but I was shooting guard, bro. I was shooting. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, he was trying to find anything. But anyways, so I got the surgery and all that, and everything was fine. They took care of me like perfectly after that. But before that, they didn't want to believe anything, like nothing. Like I was like, yo, I need an MRI. Like my knee is, I didn't get no crutches until I got an MRI. Like that's crazy. So I'm over there walking, bro. I can't even walk, you know. So then this was kind of messed up. I had got out of surgery that day, and I was like, can y'all make sure I got some food at home? So I get home, there's no food at home. Mind you, I just got out of surgery. It's like 11 o'clock at night. Bro, I'm on crutches in the rain, bro, going to Burger King right after my surgery, bro, to go get something to eat, bro.
That's a shame, bro.
I'm in the crutches, bro. Like I barely move my leg a certain degree of somewhere, and it's like it's hurt, you know?
Right.
And I'm like, I'm really in the rain, like with a jacket and some crutches, bro, like medicated, really trying to get something to eat because they forgot to bring me something to eat at home. I'm like, yo, like they took care of it as far as like the rehab and stuff like that, but everything that led up to it, bro, it was like, yo, I'm telling you how I feel. How can you tell me how I feel, you know?
Right. You got to listen to the player, bro.
Right. So I don't know, bro.
I've seen like some teams, they can be kind of hit or miss on how they go about your injury and how they treat you and stuff like that.
Right.
Like when I had that Jones fracture in my foot 2 years ago, that was actually the season when I met you, Daisy. So when I had that Jones fracture in my foot, like it was kind of the same situation on, how you said, like it happened in the game, and after the game, the president asked me, it was like, yo, do you think it's broken? I was like, well, one, I'm not a doctor. I'm not in no position to really, say if it's broken or not, but I feel like it's really bad, So we didn't go to the hospital until like I think a day or two later.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the X-rays, all that good stuff. And I actually told you this story, and they took the MRIs, did the X-rays, all that. Yo, I actually rewind a little bit. My president, he had to give me some crutches because I didn't have any crutches going there, and I couldn't walk. Like I couldn't put any pressure on my foot at all.
Right.
So my president, he had some old crutches back at his house. So it was like, let's use these, until we go to the hospital and we'll see what's wrong with it. So I'm crutching my way up the stairs, crutching my way in there. He's helping me out, trying to carry. I'm damn near on one leg, and he's carrying me almost. So then we get the X-rays, MRIs, all that. The results come back, and we see the doctor again. We see the doctor after the results come back, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're good. Like you're okay." Yo, my eyes lit up. I looked at him like, I was like, what do you mean I'm good? You just seen me walk in. I can't walk. What do you mean I'm good? Like, he was like, yo, yeah, you can go. Like, you can leave. Like, right now. I was like, I can't go anywhere. So then my president, he's carrying me out of there. I'm on one leg, bro, hobbling out of there. I'm like, what does he mean I'm good? So then come to find out, probably like a day or two later, I hit my president up again. I'm like, yo, I'm not good. Like, we got to go back. We got to see what's going on. So then They took more tests and everything, and then the new doctor that we seen, he was like, "Oh, well, you have a Jones fracture on your foot." I'm like, "So why didn't they see this the first time?" And then he spoke with the first doctor and everything. And he was like, um, he looked at the wrong test. He looked at the wrong X-rays. The whole time, like when he told me I was good, this man was looking at somebody else's X-rays. I was like, I'm sitting here telling you I'm not good, bro. You see me hobbling through this hospital. I can't put any pressure on my foot, and you're telling me I could just go home right now? Like, what's going on?
Different than me, Drew. I wouldn't have left. I was like, nah.
The
Nah.
man looked at another X-ray. That's
Bro,
crazy.
you're looking at somebody else's foot. Like, what's going on?
That's like in playoffs. So 2 years ago, we had playoffs in Valencia, and we were winning, and I was busting these girls' butt. Like they couldn't. Spanish girls cannot play defense to save their life, most of them. And
Dudes
so,
either.
Right?
and it was crazy. And I went up for a layup, and I came down on this girl's foot, and I had sprained my ankle like really bad. But I thought I just rolled it, but then I couldn't walk, and so they took me back to to like the training room or whatever. It was the first half, and they took my shoe off, blah blah blah. My ankle was black and it was fat, and they were just like, Daisy, we need you because we're trying to go up to League One. So it's just like, we need you to play. And I was just like, I don't think I can play. And they're just like, can you try? And I was just like, I mean, I can't feel anything. And they offered to give me a numbing shot in my ankle so that I wouldn't feel the pain anymore. And I was just like, no, because I'm gonna feel everything when it's done. And so I was just like, I mean, tried. They wrapped it up real good, and then they gave me a anti-inflammatory in my butt, and we tried from there. But at that point, I was like, I'm not even the same right now. Like I feel like I'm hurting the team more than I'm helping them. So I just sat, and then because we needed to win that game to go to the championship, so they was just trying to do everything they could to have me play. But I was just like, I'm no good. And then I went home like 3 days, 4 days later, and I couldn't walk for like a month. Like my rehab was it was just like, I'll never like after that I dislocated my shoulder 3 times before that happened during that same season, and they kept trying to get me back and get me back. Couldn't keep busting all like in Group B, the team was so good, so it was just like one loss, and it was like you drop into like fifth. And how much you won or lost by or whatever. And so I was just like, listen, I was in a sling for like 2 weeks. I was in treatment, rehab. It was one point I could lift my shoulder past like right here. And they just were trying to do everything to get me back playing again. I'm like, listen, all a while, like I can't.
That's how they're crazy. They're crazy. They're really crazy. This like when I went to go get that surgery, they have to take your blood and do all. You know how it go. Like Julian, like when you had that surgery, they gotta like take your blood and stuff. And, so the lady, she spoke really good English. She like grew up in Texas, but she was Spanish, and she had to take my blood before. And this is like just even more of like the struggle that we deal with. She was like, "Oh, we looked at your blood, and you have the blood type of somebody that eats in the woods." And I'm like, I'm like, and I'm like somebody that catches their own food, like that hunts. And I'm like, "Nah, I be eating at the restaurant, like I don't, And she's like, she explains it to the coach. Coach can't speak English, and he's like, "Oh no, we feed them good, but I already know this is on the topic because I don't eat pork, so a lot of the things like will be pork or anything like that. So I have to eat what I could. So this dude, like, he was so lazy, he would just like give me all these steaks. So I was eating steak dinners every night, so my blood type was like somebody that was like catching. So like the coach was just like dumbfounded. He was just like, what? So I was like, yo, like, not only am I risking my leg, like I'm risking my blood type over here, like
Blood type of somebody that in the wild.
eating a wild. Like I never heard of that, bro. I was like, yo, like y'all really out here like trying to like create robots out here to just hoop for you to move up to a league or maintain a league. Like it's crazy, man.
I understand like the business part of it, and teams have to look out for their organization,
Right.
make sure they're making money and staying in certain leagues and stuff like that. But bro, as a player, you gotta look out for yourself also. You know what I mean? You can't risk. And I'm all about playing. If you can play, get out there and play. We talked about it
All the time.
50 times. Like if you can hoop, go hoop. But at the same time, like if you know you can't, and you know that a certain injury that you have is gonna, I don't know, it can affect your career in the long run. I mean, you got to be smart about it. Don't go out there trying to risk your entire career for one season. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I just want to throw in something really quickly. The funniest thing I ever seen in Spain, because these are one of the topics that y'all gonna talk about. I just want to get it out there so Julian has it. Is Carnival, the week of Carnival? Y'all celebrate? The week of Carnival, we out. My whole team, we like, all right, we can just fine. Yo, we went out and there were these like group of guys, and their costume was them being naked men. So they like had like the chest, they had hair on their chest, and then they was just walking around like with their junk, like a fake junk, just walking around, just like hugging people.
Yeah, that's wild. I seen like Carnival. It was kind of wild. You were actually like in the best place for it too.
I know.
So I know you seen some crazy stuff, and I've seen some stuff too while I was in Benidorm. It was kind of big out there. Benidorm's a huge party city, so they were going wild out there. But I know you seen some crazy stuff out there in Tenerife.
Islands was crazy.
Yeah.
My God, I love every second. Missing out on people, dog. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to come back. I missed home so much. Like, I miss my family. I miss my friends. I miss being able to just like be like, yeah, let's go do this, or like random get ups and get togethers and like stuff like that or whatever. So like, I don't know. I think that's the toughest part being over there is that kind of alone unless like, you bring like, for me, if you bring a dude or you bring a girl or your family come and visit you or like whatever the case may be, it's just like you miss out on so much back home, like families, birthday parties, even the sad stuff. You wish you could be there for people physically, and it's just kind of like what you out here doing, what makes you happy and passionate, and it's just like, but you're still missing out on so much, even though
that's like I'll be thinking about that. I was thinking about that the other day, like before I just got here on Monday, this past Monday, and somebody, I forgot exactly who asked me, but they're like, "Oh, when will you come back?" And I was like, "Oh, like May." That's like if we don't make playoffs, But like, say you make playoffs, that's like June, July, like June-ish, Like that's a long time,
bro. That's your entire year.
That's your entire year.
And then when you come home in the summer, all you're doing is training for real, and you don't really want to be with none of that nonsense because you're good. So it's like that work-life balance as being a professional hooper is like, nah, until you actually get over the seas. But then when you're over there, you ain't got nobody to really hang out with.
Exactly.
It's like you got to grind to make sure you get to the next spot, and then when you're over there, like you're straight. Like,
right. It's almost
crazy.
like
it's like a balance.
That's wild. 2 days. I hate 2 days. And then being stuff on my birthday. My birthday's in the summertime, so I ain't never had to do nothing with none of them girls. We good.
Even experience that, huh?
Oh, they was forcing us,
bro.
I mean, we had to do stuff with the other girls whose birthday it was, but I was just like, all right, I'm gonna show my face, and then I'm gonna be up out of here. Type of thing.
They made me my second year. Because my first year they didn't even make me do anything for my birthday, but my second year, they were trying to tell me like, oh, you gotta bring us pizza and bring us beers and stuff like that. I was like, why do I have to bring y'all stuff for my birthday?
That is the worst thing I ever heard. They used to do stuff like that all the time, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you have to bring in chocolate." I said, "I don't have to bring in nothing."
Right.
Like,
So let's talk about so you went JUCO first, straight out of high school, and then transferred over to Lamar, and then straight from Lamar, you took your talents overseas across those waters. So talk to me a little bit about that transition from going from JUCO to D1 to being a pro. What that was like for you.
Damn, bro. Basically, man, like coming out of high school, I was gonna go to UCLA. I was having letters from like a lot of places. I went from Georgetown and all that stuff, Marquette, all that type stuff. But I chose UCLA because I just wanted to stay close to home. That's 15 minutes. So, but they wanted my SAT scores to be a certain way, so I didn't get there. So Cerritos, my JUCO is like right down the street, like right across the street from my house, from my old house.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go there. So I went there, and then I talked to the coach. They already knew who I was and all that type of stuff. So they were just like, you got a spot on the team. We're gonna put you in these classes. But as I'm walking around campus, I'm seeing all the people I graduated with, and they looking at me like, what are you doing here? Because I spent that whole summer not really telling nobody what I was gonna do.
Right.
So they looking at me like, bro, why are you here? And I'm like, and like just I say it to I'll tell the person, like the first person the story, the second person, then after that third, fourth person to ask, it's like, man, I'm tired of repeating this. Now it's just making me feel like, you know what I'm saying? So that was 2010, 2011. So I was in the coach. He was teaching a health class, and I used to go there every day. And I couldn't be late because I was practicing, but I had gray shirted. So I had told him, like one day I was in class, I had told him, I don't know, man, I think all that talk and just me realizing where I thought I should have been made me feel like, you know what, I don't even want to go to school anymore. So I told him, I was like, hey, I quit basketball, I'm done. And it's crazy because the assistant coach, he texted me the other day. And this is funny, me and him, he took me out to eat because he heard about my decision. Coach May had told him. So he was like, hey, can you talk to him? So he had took me out to eat, and he was like, hey, man, you didn't quit. I'm like, yeah, I ain't quit, this and that. He's like, well, what you going to do? What's next? And I was like, I'm going to be a rapper, man. Like, and I can show you the text. It's funny. I was like, I'm going to be a rapper. Like, he's like, a rapper? Like, I'm like, yeah, I'll be a rapper, man. Like, so anyways, my mom, I even told my mom I quit. My mom always been supportive of whatever I did. So she was just like, well, if that's what you want to do, just make sure you got a backup plan, the stuff that your mom will tell you, So I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. So after being away from it for like some months, like the longest I've ever been away from it, I actually started missing it. And I was just like, you know what? Like the passion to get back out there overweighed what everybody would say. Like, what is he doing here? Then it just became like, man, as long as I'm hooping, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I hooped. I did my first year. I did my second year. Lamar came, like the whole school came. Coach, man, I forget his name, but he had came to the gym, watched me practice, and he had offered me right there on the spot. And I said, yeah, I'll take the visit. So I took the visit. I saw the school, whatever, and that was my first visit. That was like my first offer, and that was before my sophomore season. I took it because of my situation at home. I just took it, and then so I took it or whatever. I did my first year at Lamar under Pat Knight. That was terrible, bro. It was terrible, but I did that, and then my second year, because Pat had got fired towards like the last 2 games of the season. He had came in the gym, bro. Mm-hmm. This dude came in the gym. She from Indiana. He had the accent. He came into the gym, bro. He was like, because it was the day he got fired. We already found out.
Yeah.
So he was like, everybody called for a meeting at the locker room. This dude came in, bro, in flip-flops and a tank top. He was like, all right, boys, I'm fired. And he just said, if you need anything, ESPN. You got my number, and he walked out. He was like, and he walked back in. He was like, it's gonna be on ESPN. And walked out. So,
oh man.
So ESPN, come on, bro. We like, yo, he really fired. Like, this is real. Like, we celebrating, bro. Like, we really celebrating. Like, so Coach Price take over. Mind you, Coach Knight has said, if you need anything, call me.
Yeah.
I never seen somebody change their number so quick, bro.
That man got out of there.
My man got out of there, bro, and he became a West Coast scout for the Indiana Pacers. So, like, we was like, yo, like, my man got out of there. But anyways, then Coach Price took over. But the thing is, that year or before, the I don't know what it is. It's like a certain percentage of GPA that you have to have. Like the whole like athletics, like basketball, whatever. We didn't meet that, so we were excluded from the postseason, the next postseason. Mm-hmm. So we would have made it under Coach Price. So he gave me the option to leave, and he understood if I would have left, if I wanted, it was about to be my senior year. If I want to play the postseason, I can leave. But he was just like, you know what? Like, I look to you to be the leader of the team, and we had another guy too. He had left, so he was looking at me. So the beginning of the season, man, I was like at 9 points. I'm like, and it's my senior year, so I'm just like, damn, man, I'm about to be in the office. Like, not with this 9 points, man. This 9 points about to have me in the office.
Right. So
we had played Indiana, and he had put me at point because all the point guards just like, it was so many people in that gym. They was turning the ball over. They wasn't getting the job done. So he had put me at point, and then that's when my points had skyrocketed, bro. I became top, like one of the top in the country in scoring, and I think that's what like that turning point in the season was saved me because we was already probably like a few games into the season, and then for him to just do that and trust me, and then to like understand like that's what my game was, that kind of like I think that's what got me overseas because like I said, I don't think that 9 points would have got me overseas, especially in the way that I was doing it. It wasn't like I was doing it like what I was capable of, you know. So. Right. I think the way that he did it, like pick and rolls, just play your game, dribble how you want to dribble, do what you want to do. I think that's what really got me overseas. Because if it wasn't for that, like I said, I don't even think I'd be over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I was coming out of high school, like when I was in high school, you know, I had a really good high school career. You know, my name was blowing up a little bit. Around my area and throughout the state, some national attention also. And then once I got to college, it was a little bit different for me. I had to adjust, and I didn't adjust that well. I didn't have a great college career, and I was one of those guys that, you know, like you said, you were averaging 9 your senior year. I think I averaged like 7 points my senior year, 6 rebounds, probably less than 1 assist, 2 assists maybe. And I really felt like I was done at that time. You know what I mean? And then I actually played semi-pro that next year, I want to say. I played semi-pro a year in Chicago, well, not for a year, but a couple months back in Chicago. And after that, I was like, yo, I'm done. Like this is it for me. You know, I told my parents too. I told my dad. I told my brother. That was one of the hardest things I ever had to do because those are the 2 people that put a ball in my hands. You know,
right.
Those are the 2 people I looked up to in this game, and to tell them, you know, oh, I'm done with basketball. And I remember how I felt when my brother told me like he was done with basketball. I cried that day. I don't think he knows that, but I cried that day. I was in the car with my dad. I was real young, and he told me like he had quit basketball, and that was my idol growing up.
Right.
In the basketball world and in life, period. And when he told me that, you know, it hurt me, and I felt like I should be done too, but I kept going. I stuck it out. And then when it came around to my turn to tell him, like, yo, I'm done, you know, that was tough. So, you know, I stopped a little bit for, I want to say maybe 2 months, 1 or 2 months. I stayed around a game. I was training kids back in Chicago. Shout out the Croc Center. So I was training kids up there. And and a few athletes up there. And then one of my homeboys, you know, that I grew up with, still to this day, one of my closest friends, Dave Fatoki. Shout out Dave also. He's actually the one that got me my first gig in Spain. Because he had played in Spain a year before. He knew a team that was looking for a player, ended up being Benidorm. So he put me in contact with them, got me the gig or whatever. So, you know, I wouldn't have been out there like, because going based on, like you said, those little 7 points and 6 rebounds that I had coming out of Lewis University and Romeoville, Illinois, that ain't gonna get the job done. You know, that will get you where you want to be, really. So I kind of had to go out there and prove myself again. And you know, I had to learn a little bit more. I feel like before I got out there to Spain my first year, I was kind of just raw and just going crazy. Like I would just do whatever on the floor. And then I feel like once I got out there, I started learning the game more. I got a little bit smarter with, you know, my decision making. My IQ skyrocketed. And then the game was obviously a little bit more physical from high school to college, and then from college to the pros. You know how it is. They don't really call fouls for us.
Not us.
Especially for Americans, man. So we out there getting beat up.
Yeah, you gotta, your bone gotta come out your legs.
We had to adjust to that, man. That was a crazy transition. But I mean, it's all working out for the both of us now, so that's the good part.
Yeah.
Let me see. My phone been vibrating this whole time. I know
I've been hearing it.
Oh, you can hear it?
I heard it. Yeah, I heard it right now.
Man. Let me see. Signing. We talked about that. We talked about injuries, transition. All right, let's talk about the politics. Then effect.
We already know about.
Did we talk about the? We talked a little bit about like the diet thing.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, let's talk about dang, which one was I gonna say? All right, yeah. The politics of playing overseas. Let's talk about that.
Man, I gotta I got a book, man. What I even man.
All right, so I want to get into you know, a little bit about the politics, man, of playing overseas. Obviously, there's politics playing, you know, at any level, whether it's youth, AAU, high school, college, pro, whatever. But I feel like it's a little bit different once you get across those waters. We both seen it. We both, you know, witnessed some things for ourselves and been through it. So just tell me a little bit about what you've seen in terms of the politics overseas.
Man, so, man, I got a story for each year. Like, basically, my first thing was when I was coming out of college. Like we were talking about, like the 7 and 9 points. I had bumped that up to the point where I was at 15, but in conference I was at 23. So, like I was thinking, I had signed with an agent that used to be in my that was an alum of my school. That was my coach's recommendation. So I went with him thinking like my numbers speak for itself, like my film speaking for itself. Like I'm playing my game in this film, like, you know. So I'm like, all right, I need them to see what I can see. They have to see this. You know, you think that like they gotta see this. What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you gonna have to
say that all over again.
Because my connection went out.
I saw it. Okay. Right. Like out of college, like I came, like I bumped that 9 to 14 overall or 15 overall. Then in conference it was 23 a game. So, like I said, like I was thinking like my film is gonna speak for itself. My number is gonna speak for itself, especially in conference where it matters. It's gonna speak for itself. So, coming out, I'm like, I signed with an agent based on my coach's recommendation. He like signed with him. He's an alum. He played here. He's a basketball player. He knows things. He knows people. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I signed with him. I worked out for the Mavs, Houston, and I'm like, all right, like if I'm shooting that high, if I fall, I'm not gonna fall too far, you know. I always think like that. So I'm like, all right, cool. He don't find me nothing. So people start telling me about Facebook. Hey, start posting your stuff in these groups. So I'm posting every day, bro, every day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but why couldn't he give me a job if he had these connections, you know? So I'm like, yo, like, come on now, like let's, like, you know. So your thing straight, bro. My man froze. Wait, did you freeze again, bro? You
Why is my internet so horrible?
my man on the hotspot. Why freeze on your face like that? It froze on your face. Oh man. All right, bro. Do I gotta repeat all that?
Why did they just switch sides? Like now you're on the left. Bro, this is tweaking. All right, you know what? We just go. I feel like that whole topic was just bad luck. We just not even
The politics of Skype, bro.
I don't even know if we should talk about that.
Yeah, they look, they know, bro. They know what they be doing. They be like, well, let's mess with the connection.
They did it on purpose.
Like, no, bro. You can't do none of that. Like,
Oh man. Wait, Daisy must have moved. So what do you see on Daisy's screen?
bro, don't tell me she got a ghost in her house.
You see that?
Nah, that's somebody in a gown.
Wait, but wasn't it like on her bed?
Nah, she moved it, bro. Like before she left.
Oh, okay. I wasn't paying attention.
That look like Tyler Perry in a gown.
I'm dead. Oh man. All right, we're gonna move on from that topic. Let me see. We got to save that one for another day. Okay. Other Americans. That's what we're talking about. All right. So what? Obviously we were both fortunate enough to play with each other.
Right.
And then we've also had other Americans that we played with. And for me, it was amazing. Like my first year out in Benidorm, I played with my boy Jock. Shout out Jock. He's from Chicago too. So that was like he helped me a ton, and he was there. He played there a year before I got there. So he was able to show me around the city, tell me how they go about things within the team, everything. Like he was kind of like that mentor that I needed for my first season. You know, he cut my head on straight and just kind of took me in and showed me the ropes. So for me, that was huge, just to have another American, and then also from the same city as me, and we lived together. So that was huge for me. So tell me what effect did playing with other Americans have on you?
Oh yeah, of course, bro. Of course, like me and you still bros. Like, of course, you know. But like I had somebody like that my first year. My boy G. Shout out to him. G was like, he was just raw, bro. Like at first, you can tell people he was a vet he still is, but like at that time, like his first year he played in France Pro B. He was like that dude, you know. But he used to just keep it raw, bro. Like, and people didn't like that. People didn't really, especially, you know, like Europeans is different. You know, like they don't really understand Americans, especially like, you know, like they think when we arguing, like we talking head on the court, they think like we about to fight. And it's not, it's just, bro, it's competitive.
Yeah.
Right. But he was just like, he'd do that on the court, and me and him would do it on the court. And this same coach that I'm playing for now, he kicked us out of practice. We were like, oh, we not about to fight? He's like, no, go to the showers. You guys are about to fight. Because me and him used to be shooting partners in the morning, and he used to just say stuff like he used to be like, "Man, I'm the best shooter in the gym," and I was like, "Bruh," and like after like that just ran like me and him started yelling at each other like, "I'll bust your ass." No, you won't. You too little. You too slow. Like, just like that. So, but he used to just call out things like with the organization on how things should be ran, what players should have the ball, who should not have the ball, who should be sitting on the bench. But he'd say it, and he'd say it by name. Like, he should not be playing. This guy should be playing. Like, but people didn't like that. But he was right. They just didn't like how he went about it. So he used to just tell me all the time, bro, like, he was like, of course, like, you want to keep your job, but don't let anybody walk over you. You know what I'm saying? Don't let anybody walk over you, because they'll do it out here, because they, like, they trying to protect themselves and stuff. They trying to cut corners and cut costs or whatever, especially, like, not those good organizations, but other organizations, they trying to do stuff like that. So, like,
right.
He was calling out things left and right, and a lot of people didn't like him. But I was just like, bro, that's something I admired about him, because in the end, those same people was like, yo, like, this dude, he is who he is. Like, he ain't gonna say nothing behind your back that he won't say to your face. Yeah. And he would just say it. Like, and people would get on him and all that. But, like, I appreciate him for that, because he used to just tell me certain things, like how to play and like how to pace yourself and all that, because they gonna play you until you can't play no more, and then they're gonna be like, what's wrong with you? So he was just like, there's ways to make it look like you going hard, but like, like kind of like pace yourself. Because I got out there, I was a rookie, I was just like I was just like, man, I'm out here, I can't believe I'm out here, like, right. it's time to go. And he was just like, hey, bro, you gotta pace yourself. Excuse me. Then he was like, don't let them talk to you like this. Hey, you didn't get paid? Go talk to him. Email him. Go talk to him. Hey, I ain't get paid. What's up? Ask for a receipt when you get paid. Ask for this type of stuff. Like, do this, do that. Like, all that type of stuff, bro. He used to always put me on that. And, like, even to this day, I still talk to him. And he'd hit me up. He'd be like, hey, bro, go kill him. Keep your foot on their neck. Don't let off. Like, stuff like that. And he used to tell me that back then. Like, he used to, like, he had no hate in his heart, bro. He was just always like, hey, do you. Do what you need to do. Like, play your game. If they take you out, just if they play you 3 minutes, make sure in those 3 minutes you played your game, So I think, like, he was like the first American. And when I got out there, I was just like, all right, like, like, you kind of needed that. Like, you needed that person that was there to be like, this how stuff go. But right. Like, also, he told me, like, he kept it raw with me, bro. Like, he kept it raw with everyone, but he kept it raw with me. Like, hey, this is how it's gonna be. And they would do this to you. Like, I remember one time he was like, they want to send you home. And I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, bro, I'm out here doing good. Like, he's like, no, they said this. They saying, how can this happen? Da-da-da. They want to send you home. But come to find out, when he told me later, he told me that just because he thought they weren't about to send me home, but he just thought I can do better. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just like, what you was doing is like, so, like, I appreciate that. Like, for us, that's all we got out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Like, we gonna meet people out there, but like, when stuff goes wrong, like, who we gonna like gravitate to? Like, like, when stuff went wrong, bro, we'd be, or whatever. The only thing that's like that'd be funny, we be like, damn, that's funny. Nobody else laughing, but we on some American stuff, we like, damn, that shit funny, or like, oh damn, like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So like, for me, like, that's how it's always been. Like, you and him are like the only Americans I still talk to in my 4 years. My boy Shannon, my first year, and shout out to Shannon. My boy Shannon, my first year, me and him from the same city too. Mm-hmm. We both from LA. Me and him don't talk like that. He like, not that I don't like him, he don't like me. He was just a quiet guy. I am who I am. But like, we don't talk like that. We still don't talk. Like, we follow each other and stuff. But like, as far as like people that impacted you in that way, is like my boy G, my first year, and then me and you, we still talk to this day. So like, for me, like, you only gravitate, bro, to the people that impact you, especially out there. Like, we could have just kept it as us just being American, and then after this season, it's like, all right, cool, like,
man, we didn't move to the same city.
Same city, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm like, this whole thing, bro, is like, it's weird how things like kind of like go full circle, you know?
Yeah.
Look back at it, it's like, damn, let's really go full circle. Like, I never really thought I'd be back playing with the same coach again.
Right.
You know? So
it definitely helps you. Like, I mean, just having that extra American out there with you, they're gonna tell you, like you said, your boy G, he's gonna tell you exactly what you need to hear.
right.
You're not gonna sugarcoat it, he ain't gonna do nothing. Like, he gonna tell you what you need to hear,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's good or bad. You know, he's gonna just have that confidence in you and have that confidence to tell you those type of things that nobody else is really telling you. And then also, like you said, you're gonna gravitate towards that other American also.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about a little bit earlier, sometimes you feel isolated out there.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like you have no friends, no family.
Oh yeah.
Don't have anything in common with certain people.
Yeah.
So then when you have another American out there, you automatically gravitate towards them because if anything, like even if y'all are total opposites, you have something in common just being from America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can relate to certain things. We can laugh at certain jokes.
Right.
Etc. We can listen to the same music. We can eat the same food. We can, like, when we're going through things, we can talk to each other, tell each other how we feel about certain things, and give each other bounce advice off of each other.
Right.
So it really, like, to me, I feel like having that extra American out there and not being the only American like that, I can't even say how much, that's done for me. And then we were fortunate enough to have two Americans out there last year.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, our boy B had to leave us, but
yeah.
Before that, it was there were three of us.
Right.
That was huge. You know what I mean? Like, so we it was almost like we had like our own little group.
Right. Of course.
So that helps you out a ton, and it gets you throughout the year. It gets you throughout the season. Makes you feel a lot more comfortable than you would.
Yep.
And just having that other American, man, it's a blessing. And then, like you said, also you form a relationship with them off the court, like outside of basketball.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so like we were talking about, we moved to the same city after the season.
Yep.
So it's definitely great having another American. All right, so when you're across those waters, man, obviously, like we said, you're out there. I mean, depending on where you are, you're probably going to be gone for most of the year, majority of the year.
Right.
So you're missing out on a lot of things, family events, celebrations, all types of things. And for me specifically, I've had each year that I've been across the waters, I've had someone pass away.
Right.
That I knew, and that's been every single year. And it was kind of unfortunate because I couldn't. I mean, obviously, like, it was unfortunate losing them, and then it was also unfortunate not being able to be there during that time. Not being able to be around my family and friends, not being able to go to their funeral, etc. And then I've had friends that have also gotten married, while I've been overseas, and I haven't been able to celebrate with them.
Right.
So it's kind of tough just missing out on some of those things happening in the States while you're gone. And I know one thing in particular that I wanted to get your perspective on was Nipsey Hussle passing. Obviously, you're an LA guy, and he passed while we were out in Spain this past season. So just tell me, how you went about that, how you felt about it, what impact that had on you, not being able to be in LA, while that happened.
Yeah. You already know that's my guy. That's one of my favorite rappers. So, like that day, that Sunday, it happened on a Sunday. We had a game that day, and you know how we used to wake up, make breakfast and stuff. Whatever, you play your music. I'm playing Nipsey. I play Nipsey every day. So I'm going in. I'm listening to Crenshaw album, all that stuff. So I go in. We go. I think we won the game. So, it was like the afternoon in LA, and it just said that Nipsey had got shot. I'm like, damn, he got shot, you know what I'm saying? Then it just said, like, he gone, like, he passed away. And I'm like, nah. Like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, nah. Like, you see something, it's just unreal. It's just like, nah. Right. Like, it's not, not him,
Right.
So like for me, even to this day, it just feel weird, bro. Like just I listen to his music and stuff. It just feel like like that was one famous person that hit that I felt that I really felt because everything that he said in his music, like he say like certain things, and it's just like is this certain like we have this thing that we say like everybody will say it at home like Nipsey's passing hit people from LA different. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, the whole world was affected because he was that guy. But like, from being from LA, like it hit us different because everything that he said in his raps, like somebody can say something from a rapper can say something from Chicago, and I probably not. I don't know everything about Chicago, but it'd be certain things that y'all know, certain lingo, certain places, or whatever
Right.
that you would say, and it makes it even more realistic to somebody that's from Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like for us, it was like, yo, like he really gone, like, and for what he was doing in the community and stuff like that, and for what he stood for and where he came from. So I was like, yo, like, nah, it can't be. Also at the same time, I'm like, bro, it's about to be a riot. It's about to be a war. Like I'm thinking it's about to be crazy. So that's one thing like I wanted to be home for because I wanted to be at the store. Because all my boys, like that same time when that stuff was happening, all my boys posting like on their lives and stuff, like they at the memorial and stuff. They on Crenshaw and Slauson at the memorial. They at in front of the Marathon store. They all over there, right by the Shell gas station, all that stuff. So I'm like, yo, like this is real. You know what I'm saying? But that was one moment I couldn't share. But being overseas and doing it from afar, like this one, it made it even more realistic. Remember we went to that classroom, and then like it was that Monday, and then they were like, "Oh, who's your favorite musical artist?" Da da da, this and that. And I was like, "It's Nipsey, but he passed away yesterday."
Right,
and like,
right. We had to go talk to the kids.
To the kids, and then the next day, that's when the whole like Spain knew about it. You remember Danny Nipsey Hussey?
Yeah,
you know, like when he said that, I'm like, "Yo, Danny is Nipsey Hussle." But like that's what made it like even more real, bro. And like for us, like for me, like I was like, yo, like everything that he said, like I said, you can relate to. I'm not no game maker or anything like that, but just like being around it, like just not even being, just being around it and stuff that he was saying or whatever. And like I was just like, I just hope that his message and it just bring like it continue to bring peace because like he's from the biggest gang out there, bro, like biggest Crip gang, and like I just like I hope it's not somebody else from the other side because that would have just been like so like I don't know, bro, like even to this day that it still affect me in a way. Like I even got the tattoo and all that, so like it was really that serious, like, and it's really like a big deal, like, and then not being over there, and like you said, like I had the same thing happen to me, like in some shape or form somebody has passed away just being over here, like, and you not being able to mourn or even spend time with that person before or anything like that. Like you only have that last memory that you have with them. And like, that's tough, bro. Like, cause you're missing a lot of time. Like I remember my auntie had passed away my first time in Portugal. I was coming back. I landed in Boston, and you know how your phone turns on.
Right.
Like, and my phone turned on the plane, and my mom was like, call me. And I'm like, all right. So I called my mom. She's like, Auntie Sharon ain't doing too good. And I'm like, man, like, for real, and this and that. But my cousin already had texted me. It was like, oh, Auntie Sharon already had passed away like a few days ago. And I'm like, my mom just said that she in the hospital, but like, she's still alive. She's like, nah, she been gone. So I called my mom back. I'm like, Mom, like, I'm sorry, Auntie Sharon. Alexa said she's been gone. She's like, nah, and then she called around, and it was true. She was thinking the whole time, like, she got a fighting chance, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was just like, but that was like, bro, as soon as the wheels touched the floor, like, that's the news.
Yeah, that's
like,
tough, bro.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the news. Like, that, and like, something like that has always happened, like, and it puts it more in perspective, like, what's really going on, like, what we're missing, the good and the bad times. And those are times that I feel like both of our families would need us, our friends or anything like that. But also at the same time, bro, it's like, it's just a sacrifice that we make,
Yeah.
So I don't know, bro, like it is what it is, but it also is one of those things like damn, I wish I was there for that, you know?
Exactly.
But, yeah.
I remember, I don't know, you're probably gonna remember this too. I remember we had a game, I think we were playing at Rivas last year.
I remember.
It was at Rivas, and I was one of my friends had passed away, childhood friend, known her for forever. Um, and she had passed away the day before that game.
Yeah.
And I got the news. I remember I was in my room and I got the news. It was right before practice that night. And that was tough. And I didn't really tell anybody because it was kind of like that shocking feeling just going through my body. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like I couldn't believe she was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to believe it. And I remember before that game, I was listening to a song by Chance, and then kind of like how you were saying about, Nipsey being able to relate to some of the things that he's saying, some of the things that he's talking about, with him being from your city. I was listening to a song from Chance, and it hit home because the song it's a song with two Chicago streets, name of the song, and he's talking about different things within our community and within our city, and it just took me back home and really made me remember my friend that just passed.
Right.
And I'm listening to that right before the game, not knowing that it was gonna hit me like that, and it just hit me all at once, and I was just crying before the game.
We remember. We were in warm-ups.
Yeah, doing warm. Started crying. I had to stop warming up and go sit on the bench because I couldn't. I had to try to get myself back together because we had a game in 15 minutes. And I mean, it was the good thing is that all of you guys kind of consoled me and just came around me, hugged me, and everything, told me everything was gonna be cool. Helped me get through that situation. But like you were saying, man, it's definitely tough just being away, like when stuff like that is happening.
Yeah.
And away and being so far away from your country, away from your people, and not being able to mourn with them, or if it's a good situation, not being able to celebrate with them.
Yeah.
It's definitely tough. So I think a lot of players that haven't gone across those waters, they gotta take some of that stuff into account and just prepare themselves for, if something like that. I mean, obviously you can't always prepare for stuff like that, but just try to be as mentally prepared as possible for when stuff like that happens. You got to try to push through it, see your way through it, and focus on your goals and stuff like that. Whether you want to stay out there or go back home, whatever you need to do to get yourself, your family right, your friends right, whatever it is. But just try to be as prepared as possible for things like that.
Yeah.
Actually, before we go, I want to ask you one more thing, man. I want to see real quick. You got the Clips coming up in LA now. They're doing that thing. Got
this question.
Y'all pulled Kawhi in, y'all pulled PG back in, got the two LA boys back where they're supposed to be, and then you got the Lake Show with Brian and AD, all those guys over there. So I want to just get your take on who you think is going to be the better team this year.
The Lakers, bro.
Why?
You want to know what all right, I'm going to tell you why.
I agree with you too, just by the way, just to let you know.
I'm going to just tell you right now. Like LeBron to me is the best player in the league, right? To me. Mm-hmm. KD obviously when healthy can challenge that. Some days when KD have a good game, I'm like, nah, he the best player in the game, Yeah. But LeBron the best player in the game, bro. But I think like PG and Kawhi, they're gonna switch off on him. Right? I think, bro, who gonna stop AD, bro? Like on the Clippers, bro. You saw yesterday, bro. Like bro, nobody on the Clippers is that big to guard him, bro.
Right.
Like Zubac too slow, Harold's too small. So I'm like, I was watching yesterday's game. I'm like, bruh, this dude AD is the GOAT, bro. Like, who's gonna guard him? Like, nobody can guard him. And I was just like, I think personally, top and bottom, they got the best team. Like from those two. Like as far as like maybe the starting five, probably not as good as the Clippers because they got Kawhi and PG, and then And then they got Pat Bev. They got people that kind of like complement each other. But like I think the Lakers top and bottom with LeBron and like it's just what are you gonna do with that pick and roll, bro? You gonna let LeBron score? Or you gonna let AD score? Like I don't.
Just thinking about that.
Like it's like I don't know, bro. Like and then they bench is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, bro, like the Clippers in the city, bro, like they'll never be as big as the Lakers, no matter what. Like no matter who they get, it's always gonna be a Lakers city, bro. So like that's why I feel like the Lakers gonna be the better team, bro. Like,
Yeah.
but I think it's gonna be like 1 and 2, to be honest. I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping for a good season for both of those teams, but I definitely agree with you. I think the Lakers are going to be a better team this year. They're both going to be great teams. Let's just get that out the way. But
yeah.
I think the Lake Show is going to prevail.
Yeah, and it's crazy too, cause how they got both them dudes back in the city to play. I'm like,
man, hey, I just want to see some good basketball, man.
This whole season is gonna be one of the best seasons in a while, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Cause everybody is like, it's not low. The balance is like it's across the board now, bro. Like, and that's what we've been wanting. Like that's like we've been wanting to see things like more of a competition, more people like being competitive, competing. Like not just like all right, we just know that it's gonna be Bron and the Warriors in the finals, or like this last year was cool, but like now it's just like it's gonna be a dogfight. Like every game is gonna be a dogfight. Like
for real.
Every team has a star, bro, and I like that, or 1 or 2 stars, and that's what makes it even more like. But to me, Lakers, bro, number 1 team. They're gonna take the ship. I'm already calling it.
Hey, I can't disagree with you right there. It's definitely gonna be exciting to see all those guys go at it, man. I'm looking forward to it. Shout out to everybody in the league. Good luck to everybody this season, especially guys that we both know. Hope everybody has a great season, whether you're in the league or overseas, wherever you are. Hope everybody has a great season, healthy season. Appreciate you, my boy, for coming on with us.
Bro.
First interview for the new TalkyoSport, new and enhanced. So we appreciate you, man. Anthony Holliday,
yes, sir.
All the way from LA, playing in Portugal. We appreciate you, man. Good luck this season.
You too, brother. Thank you, man.
Love.